Right, okay, we're going to need two separate classes for our wander spots and our wander spot list, and we're also going to use the require component type of navmesh agent. You'll notice it's come up red, so we can do that and click using Unity Engine AI. The wander spot will just take a game object, which will be just an empty game object, and the wander radius is how far near to that waypoint the zombie is going to get before it searches for a new waypoint. So I've got it set basically to 1 unit as default, but you could set it to 5 units. So you could put a waypoint in the middle of a room, and you could set it to go within 3 units of that room before it decides to go out again. Then we want another class that we call wander spots, and that'll have a string for our waypoint ID, and then we're going to create a public list of wander spot, and we call that waypoints. And then finally we've got require component type of navmesh agent. What this will do, it will put a navmesh agent component on to the game object if we forget to do it. Okay, we can get rid of that, we can get rid of that, and we start with some variables. Okay, so I can't speak today. The first thing we're going to need is another public enum, and we call it state, and these will be our states: aware, idle, roaming, chasing, and dead. And then we need a reference to our zombie data, which is our scriptable object. It doesn't have to be public. Oh, actually it does need to be public if you want to use a stealth system, sorry. And then we've got some public bools that are going to be hidden in the inspector. One for is aware, one for is alert, and one for can attack. Then we're going to have a private state that we call state, and we set the default state to idle. We want a private list of wander spot, not wander spots, and we're going to call that wander spots. We need a private reference to our navmesh agent, which this will put onto our game object. We've got a private vector 3 for our starting rotation, a private float for our end rotation. We've got a private float for our current rotation. We need a private float for a timer. Then we've got a private read-only float rotation time, which I've set to 3 seconds. So it'll take 3 seconds to rotate 360 degrees, unless it's on the first rotation, and depending where your zombie is regarding facing forward, so the first rotation might be a little bit shorter, but every other rotation will take 3 seconds until he gives up. Because we're using a coroutine, we're going to have a ball that the coroutine has been started. This is to stop it firing multiple times. And then we've got an array of colliders. Okay, so if you want to pause the video, copy that all out. Okay, I'm going to delete these because they annoy me and I like stuff in regions. So let's do our start and update methods. Okie doke, so these are our Unity based methods. Okay, so we've got our navmesh agent here, so we're going to get the component navmesh agent. We've got a collider array which is going to get components, collider, because we're going to have one collider so we can damage the player that isn't a trigger, and then we've got one collider that is a trigger that will enable us to damage the player. We won't worry about this for the minute. I'm going to have to go into my other script and blank some stuff out, but don't worry about that. So our list of wander spots will be equal to our zombie spawner dot wander spots, and then we've got some brackets, and it's going to be enemy data dot wander spot index dot waypoints. Okay, this will make sense a bit later on when we actually write the spawner script. So in update, the first piece of code we want is if state equals dead. So if state equals state dead, then just return, because we're not interested anymore. Then we've got an if is alert. So this would be for if you've got a sound intensity on your gun, or you implementing a stealth system and you've alerted all the zombies and they're going to chase you around. If it's alert, we'll start adding time to the timer, and when the timer reaches the exceeded time, which is our alert time in our scriptable object, we'll set is alert to false and timer to 0, and then we're just going to check our states. And then we've got a private on trigger stay, and then we're going to check if we can attack and the enemy data type is constant attack. If so, we'll check the tag equals player, and then we'll do other get component idamageable and dot take damage and the damage amount. Okay, so that's it for our Unity based methods. I'll take a look at this in a minute, because I'm not exactly sure why. I think it's because I haven't saved this interface and I've already got an interface named the same, so I'll sort that out behind the scenes. Like I say, don't worry about this, we'll sort that out in a minute. So user methods. We've got quite a few, so let's get on with those. Right, okay, first one. Oh, I really can't talk today, can I? Okay, the first lot of methods we're going to have are our public methods. This is so we can start the chase with the stealth settings, etc. I might do a video on player stealth later on, but the first public method we're going to want is a public void start chase. We're going to stop all coroutines. We're going to set coroutine started equal to false. We're going to set that agent speed, which is the speed of the navmesh agent, to our enemy data.chase speed. And then we're going to set our state equal to chasing. Then we've got a public void alert enemy, which is just going to start this chase method and set is alert to true. And if you remember, if it's alert, it's going to count down this timer here, and after the alert time, the zombie's going to give up chasing you unless he's still got you in sight, and he'll go into his aware phase. Yep, as you can see, it says leave out here, so we don't need that. That's just me deducting stuff off my zombie. So for our kill enemy, we're going to stop all coroutines, because you might want to kill an enemy instantly. So we make this public. Yep, so stop all coroutines, code routine started equals false. We're going to set the agent speed to 0. We're going to set the this is a right tongue twister. We're going to set the state to state equals dead. Try saying that after a few beers or a joint. And then we're going to loop through all of the colliders in our array, and we're going to disable all the colliders. Okay, so that's all the public methods we're going to need. Now we're going to have our search for player methods.